Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama on Twitter and on Twitch. I'm here with the Hashida Podcast. I've got with me my big brother, that's Goose the Truth, aka Travis, that is. I've got Kadeem with me, that's Black by Nature 66 on Twitter. And up there is my guy, the player 2 on the stream, that's Ed, and Edwin. And we are the Hashida Podcast, meeting to talk about all things anime and nerd. Hoping that you would join the conversation in the comments below and hit us up so we can talk more anime at whatever time seems necessary. So, today we're going to be talking about something, I guess, very interesting in which a lot of people are going to be able to kind of weigh in on. And that is our favorite arcs. So, our favorite story arcs from anime that we have enjoyed, hold a good special place in our heart and our minds and stuff like that really made anime stick out to us. You know what I'm talking about? Like Dragon Ball Z, when Goku went Super Saiyan in the Frieza saga, that's one of the most memorable arcs in the kind of the history of anime because of the transformation situation and what that did for anime following after it and kind of what it did for all of us anime watchers and so forth, so on. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So please comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know that a meeting of the pillars is taking place and all that good stuff. So let's start it up. Let's do the thing. Pillars. Let's pick an arc. So we're gonna pick one arc. We'll hit the rotation, and we'll get out some arcs and then do our honorable mention at the end. So pillars, what are some of your favorite arcs in anime?
I'm gonna say the Black Clover. I'm gonna go with Black Clover, the elf reincarnation arc. Main reason why that arc sticks out to me is because I mainly look at like character growth and like background story. And when they went back to describe what happened to the elves, why they had that whole feud with the humans, and how the first Wizard King was best friends with Lich, I believe. Was it?
Yeah.
It's Lich, right?
No,
Licked.
Yeah,
Licked.
it is him.
Licked.
And how he transformed, that he was the one that transformed to that big demon, the Clover Kingdom. Lumiere was the one that had to put him down. And his last words to Lumiere basically was, kill me. I felt that was type of emotional connection between them that shows the friendship, the strong friendship that they had back then. And also in that arc where it showed basically Yami as a leader, always pushing Asta to, basically surpass his limits. While Asta and Yuno was fighting the Word Devil, and in the fight, both of them basically developed. Well, I'm not gonna say developed. End up, going past their limits. Even though Yuno had the baby reincarnation inside of the baby elf reincarnation inside of him, even though he was still able to maintain his human state of mind. So. It was just a lot in that arc that I really liked. That this the fight scene with the devil, and how basically they was fighting, and then when Sakura Bird magically all time was a human, and she her magic was sealing magic. She had the sealing magic. I guess she sealed herself into that bird. The first the first Wizard King into that stone statue that she has the gems, put the statue, and then do the unsealing. And it's crazy how his power was on par with the devil, and he wasn't even at 50%. He wasn't even at 50%. He was more like 20. So basically shows when he was back then in his prime, he was basically everybody.
What's interesting about that? Do you mind? I don't want to.
No, sure. Go ahead.
So, I guess the thing with that is that really gets me sometimes is when we realize how much happens in an arc. Did you realize how many things he said just happened? Right? We got the reincarnation of the Wizard King.
And he's not even talking about none of the fights. There was so many really big fights that happened.
Big fights between the captains, right? The Magic Knight captains were having fights on the way up the tower in order to get to the demon, right? We had that whole situation happen, and we had Yami doing fights. We had like you said, Yuno and Asta pushing past their limits, and even the animation changing for amazing fights like that. All these things are happening in this one arc. That's bananas. And it's a lot to take in, and the Wizard King reincarnation was kind of thrown in on top of it, and oh wait, there's more happening here. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is bananas, and I guess that's what that would make the article.
And also finding out that Licht was the original user of Asta's grimoire.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That threw me off when he took the sword and it changed. I'm like, yo, wait, how is he able to do that? That's crazy. And then at the end, Licht was like, you know what? I'm giving this to you, like it's yours. But just to know that he was the original owner of that, like that still like brings up more questions to like, how is that devil able to trap himself inside of that grimoire, even though it was Licht to begin with?
That brings up a
like I said before, that arc just brings up a lot of questions.
That brings up a question.
That just shows how much development that anime has within that arc only.
That is a fact.
Is that a way of saying like the elves were against the devils at the time? Like since that was made.
Honestly, it was that one the word devil that did basically he fed off of despair. It's like going behind like the human's back, saying that and that he would do something and say and then vice versa.
He was just so basically
like, yo,
he was out there sneak dissing.
Right, a little bit.
His brain wasn't fully intact, right? The elf, is that the reason why he was attacking folks? Because he like still kind of.
No, I did it. The main reason why he was feeding off his despair because he wanted to take over a human host body.
No, not the devil.
Oh,
when what's his name became reincarnated, when he came back, it's like it was like that he doesn't really know what's going on right now. Like he's still fully trying to get a grasp of the situation of where he's at.
Who you talking about, the wizard king?
Oh, no. You talking about Licht, right?
Yeah.
I think, did they kind of bring him back? I felt like that was like really like him. I don't know if that was like some type of.
Yeah, that was him.
Remember,
but what question? But remember when Asta first fought him and he hit him with the sword, and it's just like, I guess it broke a seal.
I don't remember.
That's when it was like, oh wait, no, we got to take him away because he's about to wake up.
Well, no, he wasn't fully awake yet, so they were trying to.
So he was probably gonna kill like whatever magic they had trying to bring him back.
Person, so that's where it's just like, who was he before then?
Right. Why was he fighting though? Why was he fighting if he wasn't fully?
Because he wanted revenge because he thought that the humans, the elves, basically.
But was that the case? I think Travis is right. When they brought him back, they said he wasn't fully awake yet. Somebody was kind of in his body was there, but his mind wasn't fully present. Right. Do you think it was more of him like by reflex he was kind of fighting, as opposed to him really having a side? Because we realized he didn't really know what was going on until later on, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably by reflex he was kind of fighting back. I think that's kind of
it did like he just was fighting the fight. Like,
he wasn't really trying to
let me see what's up with y'all.
Yeah.
It was worse because he was destroying these two dudes. He was beating
Asta, you know?
Yeah.
But that was a good situation. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. That's good. Because I have a question to ask based off it, but I don't want to stay there. So I think it'll pop.
We'll stick around.
Yeah, it'll pop back up. All right, go. Who's next?
I'll go next because it's not like it's phenomenal in the sense of if you love Rurouni Kenshin, you gotta love the Kyoto arc. And I think it's just amazing how we were introduced to, we already have certain characters that are there. And it just seems like everybody's just trying to show off their skills. I think we got to see Saito try to take on Shishio. I think that was dope. It's just this, if you love Rurouni Kenshin in general, like this, it just goes back in time. And I just love it. Knowing that Shishio has this world domination thing happening in his mind. If you haven't watched it, spoilers alert, but when he gets defeated and I don't know if it's real, but you see him and his clan about to take over hell. You know what I'm saying? So that
was funny.
The ending is even amazing. I think this anime takes into account, granted obviously it's an anime, but it still takes into account true that world back then in Japan, so I think it's definitely an appreciation towards it. They speak about the feudal lords. They speak about the taking over. They speak about the change within being Americanized. You see the difference in the uniform, the uniforms changing and stuff like that. So all of that stuff to just be taken into account while we're just following along Kenshin's story. So I think Shishio was a great nemesis to have for Kenshin. It was a phenomenal fight. And I really enjoyed how they tried to incorporate the real stuff, and the other stuff too. I think his body was basically burned.
Yep.
And he was shot in the eye. I think he kind of used that to his advantages when he fought with his sword. If I'm not mistaken, it's been so long. But if you haven't, please check out Rurouni Kenshin, and that arc is just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. So, I guess the thing with that is one, Shishio is an amazing villain, number one. And like Travis was saying, they tried to like add in kind of like the real feel with the kind of fantasy stuff. So his body gets so hot because it was burned that he kept gunpowder in his glove, Ed. And so he would scrape the gunpowder with his sword because it would spark against his burning skin and it would blow up. Like, I was like, what? Like, it was because like it's not an anime where like they have super abilities. So it was kind of dope for that to be one of the like gimmicks that he had for a technique as a samurai to stand out from what regular samurais do to make him kind of the villain with the edge besides his actual skills, because he was a very skilled swordsman. But like Trav was saying, I think we see a lot of fights. So that the Kyoto arc is literally like the end. So they're going up like the old school way. Yeah, it's the old school way, Ed. So like they have to fight people at different levels, and the characters all get a fight until they get to the top, and the main character has to fight the main guy. So it's like that. So we see a lot of amazing fights. That we see the guy who's called the Turtle have to fight Travis' favorite character, who is Hajime Saito, and you see that's when we learn that Saito can use his technique where normally he has to get like a running thrust. Like it's literally like a whole running thrust he has to get. He can do that from point blank range, as long as he's turned the proper direction. And like the guy didn't know that was gonna happen, and he just did that joint straight up and kind of launched him into a wall. Joe was crazy. And even before that, Sanosuke, who fights with his hands, had to learn a new Futai no Kiwami. So it's like the punch with the knuckles first, and then it goes down to, yes, this part first, and then these. And you have to do it in like succession, and it causes a bigger impact in the show. Like that's his technique. He had to fight the guy who taught him how to do it. And it was like, it was a lot of emotions, a lot of things happening. And even while this is happening, they're all fighting back in the city to save the dojo and the city from the people that are trying to invade them. And we see Kenshin's master, one of the best masters in anime, get jiggy. Like, and it's wild. It's a lot going on, and it's fire. Oh man. Anyway, I can keep going about that. I freaking love that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Ed, about that.
All right. This is not my favorite, but I think it was just like really big and really monumental for this anime. I'm gonna go with the Chimera Ant arc, and I'm picking this one because, like I said, it was really big for the anime. There was a ton of character development into it. Like there was like, all these characters with all these different resolves. Like why they was there trying to get better and doing what they doing, and
Oh, see, it's a cold day in hell when Tommy's not on the podcast and Edward picks a Hunter x Hunter.
Because like
his choice, Nobunaga.
It's just like it was so much going on to like complete like I guess you could say like that similar goal, because you had Knuckle, Shoot, Gon, Killua, Netero was there trying to do what he had to do. I forget the dude's name with the pipe and the smoke.
I'm the dude with the glasses.
Him. There was the other guy, I forgot his name unfortunately, that was setting up all the portals and stuff like that. And then you had Palm and stuff like that. But like I said, you just had all these characters like.
Sorry, viewers, I can't act like it's not funny to me that he was something by Togashi after when Nobunaga's not here, because I feel like somewhere Nobunaga's just over there clapping his hands or some foolishness like that. But no, the Chimera Ant arc had that. I guess you're trying to find the names, right? So I guess while he's looking for the names, the arc itself had a lot happening, and a lot of people kind of refer to it when they think about serious situations. When we talk about fights, we talk about Netero versus Miriam. We talk about I
didn't even get to the ants yet.
So yeah, exactly. it gets to well, you're talking about the arc in general. You're right. So I know you didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
My bad.
No.
But,
I was just saying.
So, but even when we talk about, like, a lot of people talk about the Gon situation, right? Gon getting older, stuff like that. And so that those things are so important in this specific arc, and why we get more explanation on a lot of the world that we don't normally get, that Togashi was keeping from us and stuff like that, kind of come back around in this arc. So, but you got, my bad. I don't want to talk too much. So. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely a good one.
No, because like, and I thought like the three main ants, the royal guards were like really cool, because similar to like everyone else, you had P2 is the cat, and like she was just so like headstrong. Her and Poof so headstrong and just like protecting the Ant King, well, Meruem at the time, and then I liked Yuppie a lot because even though he was like there doing the same thing, I felt like he was the one only ant out of those three that was like really like trying to figure out like who he was and stuff like that. Because like, you see him like transform and things, like he's learning his abilities, and I just thought that was pretty cool how they wasn't just there like, oh, we're gonna stand here and protect, the king or whatever.
Yeah, no. So you felt, and I guess that is another thing too. People always tell me, so I've watched it by now, but before I actually watched it, and I was hearing people tell me about why it's a good arc, they always say that there's character development on both sides, and you can kind of like both sides when you get to the Chimera Ant arc, and so that's something I noticed too when we're talking about like Pito and UP, especially UP.
Yeah.
So it was, I guess that stuck out to me when we talk about like arcs that kind of mean a lot to us in anime, and we're done well, right? I guess it's coming to my turn, and so but while it's coming to my turn, I guess I do want to say that a lot of arcs that we pick may like that stick out to us, or even stick out to you, right? Who you viewers who are watching the podcast, are normally arcs that kind of do a lot, and not a lot as in too much, but a lot as in having the necessary things to make you intrigued, right? Story development, dramatic changes, climatic battles, right? Normal, and by battles I don't mean just hand to hand. I mean, it could be mind stuff, it could be like Death Note style stuff, right? But as long as it's one of those, I think those stick out to us the most. And as it comes to my turn, I guess that's what I'm going to use, because I guess one of my favorite arcs is definitely, I don't know the name of arcs for this anime if they even have one, but like the final season of Code Geass, when we see yes, it's not an episode of the Hashira podcast. If yours truly, Ryan Date, does not say Code Geass one time. But if we're talking about favorites and stuff like that, or things that I want to compare things to, it would automatically have to be, well, Code Geass. I held it in high regard. But the final season of Code Geass, we find Lelouch Zero, not anymore technically, because we know that he's Lelouch v Britannia, and he is over the Britannian army, and he's trying to take over the world, quote unquote. And he has everyone thinking that he is going to do just that. Suzaku is now working with him after they have helped each other deal with the ending of the last arc, which was kind of Lelouch's parents and whatnot. And so now Suzaku's on his side as the Knight of Zero, as before when he was a Knight of the Round for Britannia itself. There's a part where they literally going back and forth with Lelouch, tricking people to kind of manipulate them into feeling a way against him, and having actual wars with people and the countries to make them also put themselves in a certain standing against him and the nation he is now the king of, by using his abilities to become the king. There are some amazing fight scenes and a lot of I know a lot of people don't get into like mecha stuff per se, but these fight scenes are actually good fight scenes. And a lot of coordination happens. If you watch Code Geass as a series, you'll know that it's a lot of mind games and strategy on both sides of the board that makes this kind of important, to see where their minds are going, and even when Lelouch gets outsmarted, how he has to adjust quickly and kind of worry about what's going to happen next. And so seeing all this happen on like a big chessboard, if you will, a big chessboard which is displayed amongst the battlefield, amongst the characters, amongst the development, amongst the countries, amongst the settings, all the things that are happening in this anime, we see it is masterfully played out in the way that Lelouch sits at this end of the board and the world sits at the other end of the chessboard. And even though Lelouch is wearing white clothes, he's obviously the black side, because he goes second in this war, which is interesting to me, because normally Lelouch takes the preemptive strike, but in this game he kind of takes the second move, because he's going based off how they will react when he was not able to be found after the situation with the dad. So I like that. It was a big twist on a lot of things I like and have come to like with the show, and getting to see how all the characters kind of came to character, out of character, or in character based off of the way that they were reacting to Lelouch was amazing to me. So yeah, that hits every time. To see action, a lot of strategy, a lot of trying to figure out where things were gonna happen. It was good to me. It was good to me. It was good.
Yeah, and it's crazy how you saying like it's like a chessboard, because I remember that episode when they was in the ship, the holograms of the battlefield looked like it was chess because they had the enemies.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing too.
It was just like he's like, yeah, send out this unit to go here and send out that unit to go, and it just looked like a whole. Like basically, like what's that game called? Battlefield. Like you show my Battlefield.
But it was like battleships, but it was actually a chessboard.
Yeah.
So but it was actually a chessboard. And the thing about that is wild is that because, and I did use the chessboard analogy because he does it in the show. I did that on purpose. But
yeah, he definitely does.
He does it in his actual his suit, right? In his mecha, if you would call it, or whatever the case is. He actually has a chessboard that he's using in order to send out people to go here and create his plans and his strategy, and it's absolutely absolutely phenomenal when you get to see him doing it. I think that is absolutely amazing. And so for sure, I'd have to say, like, just the way that they set things up in that show is great. And I guess since I have another second to talk about it real quick before I pass it off again, the emotions in that freaking final season, holy cow. Watching Colin fight Suzaku and really putting her all out there, and like, cause she respected Suzaku. She respected him a lot because they're both Japanese, but Suzaku's kind of always been fighting on this side, or for the forces, the armed forces for the Britannian Empire, which kind of took over the world. Britannian Empire, excuse me. And so, but she still respected him because she believed in his sense of justice. And then at the end, because of the way him and Lelouch did things, she kind of lost faith in that sense of justice. And when they kind of stare each other off before they fight, she literally says, I believed in you. I always thought that you had something in you that made me want to believe that you were fighting for Japan this whole time. But now I see you're just selfish. And like, obviously that's not the case, but that's the way it's set up. And it just, and she's kind of like going to tears and like really trying to fight this fight. And it's bananas. It's some of the knights who are on Britannia's side are turning to the Japanese side because they can't work with Lelouch because they don't like what he's doing. And there's a lot of changes and a lot of emotional stuff there, and it's good. Code Geass, top 3.
If we're going to talk about emotions, Marine arc.
We're going Marine 4? Dang, he smoked my drink.
Just such a beautiful arc. Even if you're not a One Piece fan, you have to love that arc. And I'm going to say that. You have to love that arc.
Decent.
We're talking about control in one set, or here's the beauty in chaos. Okay? We're talking about freedom. We're talking about monumental depths in One Piece. We're talking about the love seen in a family that we didn't get to see throughout the show. Like, we know it's there, but then you get to truly see it. We get to see Garp's love for his sons. I mean, his grandchildren.
I was gonna say his sons.
His grandchildren. We get to see that he truly did keep his promise to Roger, and he saw Ace as one of his own. He teared up. He cried about it to the point where he was willing to kill. Over the fact that he killed his grandkid. And Garp he's all about duty. As everybody knows, Garp is all about duty. It was great to see that. And when he got put down by what's his name? I forget. The guy's
Goku.
Yeah, and he goes, "Keep me here because if you let me up, I'm gonna kill this guy."
Yeah, true.
And the way Luffy lost his mind. He lost his mind. He blacked out. That is as serious as I've ever seen that anime get. With all the funny animation, with all the jokes, with all the laughter, you had to take that one specifically into account and look at it in a serious note and understand that this writer has range and he could do this as well. He can make you laugh, but boom, you are gonna cry too.
That is kind of similar to when when I think they killed the little girl's father. I don't know. I forgot the guy's name. They killed the little guy's father. He was hanging on the cross and they shot him. Like,
what is his name? Oh my gosh, we were just talking about this a couple episodes ago. Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'll get his name, but yeah, they shot him, and it's just like, and being that she ate the fake devil fruit, she could cry because she was laughing.
Oh yeah, I heard about that character.
So like she had tears coming down her face, but it was like a big smile at the same time. So that kind of hit different too, because like, put yourself in that character's, situation. Okay, like, let's go back to Luffy. Put yourself in Luffy's situation. Your older brother, you broke him out of police custody, and it's right in your arms, like he is away. Like, that breaks you mentally, like, to a point where like there's no coming back from that. You come back, like, you're coming back as a complete different person. And for Oda to write basically Rayleigh Luffy mentally to come back from that state was kind of, I liked it.
I mean, it's beautiful. That is beautiful, but to say that, to show you have range for that arc in general, specifically talking about that arc, like that's just like I didn't. It was like I honestly thought they were gonna get away when I first saw it. I had no idea. I didn't read the manga at the time. I had no idea what was gonna happen.
Right.
I had no idea that was gonna happen. I thought they were gonna get away, sail off. We lose 2 people, and I just was like, oh, so you can get serious Oda. Wow.
The only 2 people I really cared about. That's what made me upset. I only care about 4 characters in One Piece. And that's Dracula, Mihawk, Fire Fist Ace, Zoro, and Whitebeard. And 2 of them were gone. And at that one moment, I lost 2 of them just like that. I was like, okay, alrighty then. And as for most of you who've been watching, that is the point of time which I stopped watching One Piece for years. Actually, it was literally when that happened. I said, all right, I don't need to watch the show anymore because Ace is dead.
He's not lying. He's not lying. Like he really stopped watching. He's not lying.
I was like, I don't need to watch the show anymore. It's over for me. It's gone. But yeah, I will agree with that. And I just want to piggyback on one thing that you said earlier, Travis, about the chaos of the moment. So Travis was talking about a lot of the more, I guess, emotional moments when we talk about One Piece as a whole, but there was a lot of chaos going on. The Whitebeard pirates were assaulting Marineford, the place in which the navies and the admiral were there. They were all there. The admirals and the navy forces were on Marineford at the time because they were supposed to be executing Ace, and it was a climactic moment with a ton of action and emotion packed in at the same time. And you didn't know what was going to happen. We see all the characters are center stage. If they're not center stage, they're on their way. Kaido was on his way. Shanks was on his way. Big Mom was supposed to might have shown up. Like, we didn't know what was going on. All of the emperors were still emperors at the time. They were there, right? The warlords, they were there. So Mihawk and those guys were there. Like, and it was just bananas. And we know that the Whitebeard pirates and Whitebeard himself, Whitebeard was the strongest man in the show. And he shows up and he's actually fighting, knocking up the island in half, hitting people, trying to protect whom he is calling his son, because Ace was part of the Whitebeard pirates. Oyaji! Right? And so, like, we're talking like that. And so this was just it was big. It was big. I've got to say that. And that's why I always make it, whenever I'm talking about Wano, and even in the last episode, if you've watched it, if not, please go back and watch the episode we talked about One Piece in its current state of affairs. When we were talking about that, Wano is trying to get to that same level of hype and I guess just feeling that we got from Marineford. That's what they're aiming for here, and that's what they're building up to. And if they do, then Wano is shaping up pretty nicely. But for now, Marineford holds it to me as the most important part of One Piece. And if you don't think so, let me know in the comments below. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Awesome.
I felt bad for what's his name in that arc too, Marco, because he just had to sit there and watch everything.
Yeah, man.
Whitebeard was like, "Nah, man, just go back to the boat. Just let me handle it." And that was his second-hand man, right?
Yeah.
Marco, yeah. That kind of
sucks. I feel like if Marco would have listened to Whitebeard and like everyone would have stayed back, Whitebeard would have been able to go all out because.
But he kind of did listen. But I guess it was too late.
It was too late. Yeah, too late.
Nah, yeah, that's true, dude. I'm just saying it just sucked though because like, yeah, word. Like he literally just stood there and watched both, his captain and his boy just get murked.
and the third, because he was second and Ace was next, right? Right?
Yes.
I think yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No. I think it was Marco, Jozu, then Ace.
Okay.
Fourth. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just called him his boy. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I knew he was high up in rank, so I knew he was very important.
Yeah,
he definitely was. He definitely was.
Ah, man.
And I think that's what they said. Oh, like Ace couldn't take Odin's spot, but we'll see.
Right, now you're talking about something else.
I just can't believe, like, even when he was still in shackles, and Garp was like, "I wish you took a different road. I wanted you to become." I wanted you to join the Navy.
Yeah.
It was like he was so sad. Garp was so sad. Before he even got killed, Garp was sad knowing that he had to execute him. Like, why did you choose this life?
Yeah,
I wanted it
something
better.
else. Yeah.
It could have been something else.
Yep. Could have been a doctor or a lawyer, but you chose to be a pirate.
What did Ace say when he was up there? He was like, it's in our blood or something like that. It's in my blood or something like that. I think he tried to say that, use that line, but I
yeah, no.
You know what's so crazy? At that point in time, I sided with Garp. I guess, I did. I sided with Garp. You didn't have to choose this, So it's like, and if you think about it, Garp is the beginning of it, right? Like, and then when I say the beginning, because we don't know Garp's father or whatever. He has a son that becomes a revolutionary.
Yep.
A revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
And then his grandchild becomes a pirate. And, granted, yes, Ace belongs to Roger. But you're under my wing. Like, I'm raising you.
It didn't matter, though. It was in his blood.
It didn't matter.
So,
what does that mean for Garp, though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that mean, like, I would love to know Garp's backstory.
well, they kind of went into a little bit of it, like explaining, not like too much, but like explaining him as a hero and going back and forth with how he got it to be so important when Sengoku was explaining. Remember before how he fought against oh shoot, I just told
the Rocks Pirates.
Yes, thank you, the Rocks Pirates.
Yeah, him and Roger, right?
Yeah. So they were going into stuff like that and how duty moves him so much that he was able to work with Roger in order to really fight against the Rocks Pirates. And so, but I think that you're right. And I mean, I don't think it's a slight against Garp. I just think that Garp in himself, even when he's talking to other people or you see him interacting in the show, he always he commands a sort of respect that I even respected him a lot. And I didn't see him that often. But like when I did, I was like, holy crap, Garp is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I was cool with that. And so I guess that's why it's easy to. I felt for him too, obviously because Ace. But I was sitting there like, yeah, Garp, I feel that, bro. Now you got to watch this happen. And so, and I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think Garp was gonna let it happen. And so we never got to see it happen because it got crashed. But I don't think Garp is moved by duty. But I think somewhere along the line, him holding his word would have been a lot more for him than holding up kind of what the Navy was going to do. But without staying on that too long and getting into speculations, we're still talking about arcs, everybody. So, we're in round 2.
Right.
Round 2.
The last thing I'll say about that arc real quick, and then I'll say, and I'll shut up. The letter D.
Oh, here we go.
Was definitely destiny in that arc. Sad to say this. He's had to die. If the D means destiny, then it was. But that's it. I'm done.
Ace had to die so Luffy could be great.
Luffy? No.
Exactly. No, Ace had to die so Luffy could be great. It's 100% true.
Whoa.
It's 100% true. 100%. But it's. Kenny, I think it's your turn.
Who, Mons?
Mm-hmm.
My second. My second arc that I was choosing was the. Oh damn! What is that arc called in My Hero? Where was it? The camp, the training camp arc.
Oh
yeah, something like that.
When they was with the cat people, then.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Sad.
I like that. Again, that shows the grit of my boy Deku. Even though, granted, he's the main character.
You're a Deku fan? I didn't know that.
No, he's a Bakugo. He's a Bakugo man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Bakugo fan, bro.
Come on, you knew this. You knew this already.
But even though you don't like him, but we're not gonna talk about that. But
I like him now.
Yeah.
I didn't like him before.
No, I was talking about Travis.
No, Travis like Bakugo. Travis like Bakugo.
You do?
He's cool.
He's an idiot.
But anyway,
a funny
that
dude.
arc, that fight between Deku and Bit. Well, not Deku, but the fight between Deku. What was the guy's name with the muscles?
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Muscular.
Yeah, the fight between.
You
Deku
remember
and
that?
How Deku was able to convince.
Muscular.
I mean, that's his name.
Convince the little boy not to dislike heroes, being that what happened to him in the past, even though what had happened to him was messed up. And what else? And the strategic way that the kids basically went. What is this dude's name? See, the one that he could manipulate he could make an ear come up on his shoulder, an eye come on his finger, or something like that.
Oh, but he's part of the school, right?
Yeah, the kid. He's part of the class.
Yeah.
He's OD.
Yeah.
Check right now.
How him. Yeah, this is dumb because it's just so much characters and so much.
There are a lot of characters in Hero.
in that arc.
There are a lot of.
It was like so much going on at once where Dabi basically attacked Eraserhead.
Yes.
Me personally, I don't know how Eraserhead got away from that. I would have to go back and figure that out because Dabi was point blank, and then you had Soga Toga versus.
That's my girl, man.
Toga OD. No, Toga, she's a wild one.
Toga versus Froppy. There you go. Toga. And
You mean Suchan?
There was a lot of fights.
Yeah,
in that
her name is Suchan. Not
Right.
Probably is Suchan.
Right. Oh yeah, Suchan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that fight showed the character development within Froppy. Basically, how she was willing to, push forward to basically help her friend. Because I don't know, at a point, did she think that her quirk was like, I'm not gonna say useless, but like,
she didn't think it stacked up to the rest of the
but wasn't helpful. So basically, that right there helped her get over the hump to show that basically her quirk is useful and it could be used in battle. That was one scenario I had liked. And which else was there?
Watching Bakugo get taken was hilarious. I'm just.
You see what I mean? You see? you see? How?
Don't come after me, idiot.
Oh man,
Chill.
that is funny.
Oh no!
Keeping it real.
Yeah, don't come at. But I'm saying like,
He's saved by you.
Okay, now boom. Just like how you were saying, like Baku had no character growth. That showed character growth because back then he was so egotistic to the point where like he didn't want to be saved by in no type of situation by Deku. Because it was like he was he didn't have a quirk. I'm greater than him, so he should be giving me. To now, he's teaming up with him. He's fighting with him.
Oh, you're talking about now. Okay, I thought you meant like when that.
It definitely took a while. As I said, it took a while. I like Bakugo.
It wasn't even in that arc that he.
It definitely wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
That ain't take a while.
That took a while.
Y'all talking about animes that been going on for 20 years, and you talking about took a while.
We talking about a while in the show's time.
No, it didn't take a while. It was perfect timing.
Right.
You're a Bakugo fan. That's why you're saying that.
I'm not a big time Bakugo fan. I mean, I don't hate the character. I like the character. He's funny. He's cool, but I don't want to hear that. Oh, it took a while.
It took a while.
It did.
It took a while.
It did take
What's
a
the
while.
while it took? What's the while it took?
It took until after the All Might fight with All For One, bro. That was what, the end of season 3?
Isn't that right after he got taken?
Yes, like that's after season 3, isn't it? Not.
But I'm saying that's.
How many seasons the show got?
We just finished 4.
Right after he got taken. I
Just finished 4?
like they.
That's still not bad. You gotta remember. I mean, but whatchamacallit, they take breaks, so they don't drop episodes every week. Every month.
No, but I'm talking about, and we're talking about the time of the show itself, not
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the way
It's
it's
not that
animated.
bad.
No, but in the show itself, because we spend a lot of the time having to deal with the kids. If we're talking about in the progression of the timeline in the show itself, it took a long time for it to be more than that, for Bakugo to do anything more than that for a while. If we're talking about the show itself. Not talking about the animation or when the animation's made, not about when the manga's written. We're talking about the progression of the timeline in the show. Exactly.
All right, okay,
Yeah.
but granted, give him the benefit of the doubt, Maurice.
I don't need it.
His ego was high.
Yes.
Still there.
But like, you can't expect like a dramatic change from a person that's that egotistic.
Still haven't seen the change. I don't know what change you're talking
Now,
about.
there's a change. There's a change now. Yeah. No, there's a change now.
Me personally, what topped off his change was when he finally found out that
I know we're not supposed to leave arcs. My bad.
Bro, there's 88 episodes.
You still talking about episodes?
We're not
There's 88 episodes.
We're not talking about Ed. We're not talking about episodes. We're talking about the time of the
Talking
show.
about the time of
We're
the
not talking about
show.
episodes. Not talking about episodes. Episodes have nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with
episodes has nothing to do with what?
No, we're talking about the timeline of the show. Like, for example, it took them 7 episodes to walk up the steps in Water 7. That means those 7 episodes were 5 minutes. Like, we're talking about the timeline of the show. And not talking about like the episodes when they were made. The timeline of the show. Because we know that those steps didn't take 7 episodes to literally get
How
up.
much time y'all want to go by in 88 episodes?
However time goes past, they do time skips and animes all
What
the
kind of
time.
question is
It's
that?
just based
What
off
are
the
you
time
talking
of the
about
show.
right now?
It's the time of the show. Sometimes there are time skips between episodes right now. And Attack on Titan, there's not 80 episodes, but there's a time skip. So there's a long time in the show. So we can say that things based off that were based off the time and the events taking place in the show.
You know how many episodes are in Attack on Titan?
How many?
There's like I think the last one was 69.
Exactly, but there's a time skip. What I'm trying to say is the shows have timelines, even though there are episodes that happen. Like there is a time that progresses in the show that has nothing to do with
Okay, and before the new season, how much how much
They've known each other since they were kids. They've
in
been
Attack on Titan.
No, Bakugo and I'm thinking about Bobby. Bakugo and Dex.
just preschool. Like what the fuck?
All right, what else?
Yeah, exactly. We'll leave that for another thing. Yeah, whatever.
Like I said, the training camp arc in My Hero. I wish I had more information to feed you guys, but that arc, I liked it. Character development, character growth, story, the plot, everything, the whole nine. Loved it. Fighting scenes, the animation.
It was a great arc. Everybody had character development. Somebody needed another season to go over.
I think that in itself, the training camp arc was kind of like the sports festival arc, where they tried to put the spotlight on characters that weren't Deku and Bakugo for a second, and that's why we saw Tsukuyomi do the shadow was wilding out. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we, like you said, Froppy was fighting as well. We see a lot of the other characters have to work as a team in Class 1A for Class 1A to come out on top against the villains, and then they still find a way for the main character to get his fight against Muscular and push across the point of heroes. So we see a lot of that happening. So I agree with you with that. There's a lot happening in there in that arc that lead us up to the next one in a way that is it makes it important, because then we lose Bakugo and now we're like, damn it, we got to get Bakugo back. What's going to happen next season? And so that in itself did well for what the arc was supposed to be.
Boom. And to piggyback off what you just said, the character where she could just make items appear out of nowhere.
She's OD. Chill, bro.
She made the gas. She was making the gas mask for everybody, and then you had the other girl from Class 1B where her hands were like huge. I was laughing.
So the girl that makes stuff is Momo. That's my girl, right?
Momo, yeah.
Momo OD. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so nope, that definitely a good one.
Great arc.
Ed?
I guess my next one is gonna be from I was about to say Attack on Titan, but it's not the thing. Tokyo Ghoul, the Aragiri tree arc. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the manga heads don't like it because I think in the manga he doesn't join them. But I mean, I was fine with it. I thought it made sense because Kaneki went through so much. You know, the way he got his ability from the girl, and then just the way that the freaking, is it the CCG, I think is the police organization, whatever you call it. The way they be treating the ghouls and stuff like that. So to protect, the way he protected his people in the anime was different from the manga, but at least he didn't leave the cafe. I forget the name. He didn't leave the cafe and just be like an idiot and just do random bull crap. He felt that that's what he had to do to also protect them. Like the Aragiri tree, those guys were strong. You know what I'm saying? Those were the bad boys of the anime. Word to the Akatsuki. So I don't know. I didn't have a problem with him joining it. Yeah, word. I was like, he joined them. These are the strong guys. They going against the establishment. Let me ready up with them.
No, okay. I mean, I hear that for sure. And I guess it is a very different thing from the manga in itself. But I will say that it did make, I guess, if you're watching the anime, that did make sense for him to do that. And it was the proper way for him to decide what side he was going to stand on while things were taking place. It was like, I'm watching this stuff happen. Do I do this because this is going to protect what I believe in, or do I just act like I you know what I'm saying? It was a big choice for him to make. And after, like you said, and he was going through so much at the time, there's a lot happening. And for him to make that decision was kind of like, all right, this is big, because he's making this decision to be with these guys, to do what he's got to do. Unfortunately,
he felt he needed to be the bad guy to keep, attention off of the cafe.
Yep.
Because I think the little girl, Hinami, the little kid that was there, the little girl, I'm not sure if they killed her mother after or before he leaves. And I feel like that, if it was before, then, you got that too. Because that dude, Mado, the Beast, he was good. I liked him from the CCG. The guy, the crazy dude with the hair that kept fighting Toka-chan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep coming. They keep coming after them. So this is what I got to do to take some attention, bring it to these group. I'm gonna do it.
It was a bit.
I ain't mad at him. And it was a good arc.
I ain't mad.
But it was good, man.
I looked at the time and I realized that we only got through 2 rounds because we had interesting side conversations. But that's what we do here.
Yeah, word.
All right. I think actually what we do on purpose here, and not even, it's not on purpose. Let me shut up. It's not on purpose. But we do here on the podcast is we like to talk about things and have you guys join us in the comments. So please, if we miss out on arcs or if we don't get around to naming as many as we'd like to, there's nothing wrong with you guys jumping down in the comments and saying it down there for us to join and talk about those arcs with you and have other people join the conversation as well. Especially,
or they can help me explain that Chimera Ant arc a little better.
Yeah, exactly. Nobunaga's not here, so we gotta have that happen, right? So I guess this is my last one, but before I get to my last one, just some honorable mentions. If you guys want to throw some honorable mentions up at the table, like I said already, the Frieza saga is a big one. The Cell saga will always hold a place in my heart because of what it was.
Boo
and what
saga.
It means. You like the Boo? I've never been a fan of the Boo saga, but
Why not, man? Vegeta was wild.
Vegeta was cool. That's the best part of the saga.
Boo was putting the pressure on them. That's why, man. I thought Boo was gonna kill him.
When Vegeta, he was like, "What are you laughing at? You're a clown."
Honorable mention for me is Bleach. Was the Espada arc.
Okay, yeah, OD. Grimjaw, Ulquaria, the beast.
Yep.
Man.
And that's where you see Kenpachi. Who did he fight? The number, was it 3?
He was number 0, the big guy. Because remember, the thing fell off and he had the 0 on his tongue and he was mad big. OD. Oh, you talking about the fight before that? My bad.
Yeah, before
that.
Because the big guy didn't him it. Kenpachi and
Byakuya. Yeah, they fought it together. Kuchiki. Yeah. But he fought to do with the scythe thing. Yeah, you're right.
The little double scythe.
I don't want to mention it might be your last one, but I don't think it's his.
No, go for
it. The exams, Naruto.
That's classic.
Yeah,
that's classic.
That was a good one.
The Chunin exam arc from Naruto. That is real good. That's a lot happened in that arc. Holy cow, that was a lot happening there. Can't act like it's not. From Demon Slayer, the Spider Mountain arc. I don't know the real actual name of it, but that was good.
Now that's the name.
Yeah.
Nice.
When he had to fight Rui.
Now that's the name.
And they had to fight the whole spider family up there in the mountains, and we see the Thunderclap and Flash from the character I don't even like, but that joint is animated so well that it's
he's
dope.
not bad.
But yeah, so that's also a good arc I think that we could talk about. For sure. What's the name? The father arc from Brotherhood. Broken. It's absolutely, and probably every other arc from Brotherhood. So I can't be all put up here.
The whole thing.
It's goated. It's
some great Toriko arcs. I know people don't watch that, but I love
Toriko. Okay, and Toriko stuff. But yeah, but again, please name those arcs for us in the comment section for the ones that we might have missed. These guys here. So for my last one, I guess for my final one. Since he did say it, a big part of me becoming really an anime weeb or getting into anime for sure, because I used to watch a lot of anime when I was growing up and all that stuff, but what really catapulted me into like loving to watch multiple anime and really getting into it was definitely the Soul Society arc in Bleach. I think that was one of the best arcs I've ever seen in my life. And even when I think back onto it and rewatch it, it has aged well and it has done well for what it is. It is one of those arcs where it literally gives everyone a backstory and you don't feel like it's dragging. It gives you an explanation into all of the court guard captains, and there are 13 of them. It literally gives you information and insight on all of the court guards, what they are, the captains of them, the second in commands, the whole Soul Society, what it means as a whole, while at the same time Ichigo is trying to fight to take back Rukia and save her from being executed, and we get to see everybody's feelings about that. And even there's a whole underplot which she talked about in like villains in anime that we liked, even with Aizen and what he's been doing the whole time and leading people on, and there having to be shadowy movements happening in the Soul Society at the same time. Like all this is happening, and we get some of those moments that we really enjoyed with Ichigo having to fight some of the captains, some of the second in commands, and having to come out on top to get stronger in order to win fights. We see some of the coolest abilities revealed and unleashed in front of our very eyes with their bankais. Learning about that was phenomenal. Even Ichigo had to learn how to do his bankai before he could win. He had to learn how to actually be fast, because there are certain characters in the show who are super fast and you couldn't escape from them. There was just a lot, and all their abilities were unique and dope. And so when you got to see those abilities come out, like for example, the captain of the second squad, is she second squad? No, not second squad. She's the assassin squad. What number is
it's
that?
Well, under Yorichi, you're the one that
yeah, Soifan. Soifan is 2, right?
Soifan, yeah,
okay.
Soifan, yeah.
Exactly. So it literally can like touch you, like her sword turns into like a blade on her finger, and if she pokes you in the same place twice, you automatically die. Like that is
Which
just
finger?
I think it's the middle finger.
Whoa.
And so she pokes you 2 times in the spot, you die, right? And she's mad
what?
fast. Yeah, and that's her bank. That's her ability. And then she has a
my
Bankai that does
word.
more than that. And then the same thing. So everybody has an ability and a Bankai that builds on top of it. And Bleach really did a good job in building that world. And so I was in love with the Serete. I was in love with the Soul Society. I was in love with the Court Guards. To this day, my favorite character, one of my favorite characters of all time, will be Byakuya Kuchiki, the captain of the 6th Squad, because he's GOAT. And his abilities were just broken. And I never understood why they thought anybody else was better than him. Senbon Sakura. Kageyoshi. He's OG. Like, he was just wild. So, yeah, that's my number 2, and for sure. And again, just make sure that you guys are like, put the ones that we missed in the comments for sure, because I would love to see and hear about what you guys think about certain arcs and certain shows and stuff like that, because there's so many anime, so much that we can never get to it unless we had like 10 episodes on every topic we ever brought up. So, and maybe we might stream and talk about some more arcs another time and stuff like that, and that'd be good for good for you guys to catch up and chat with us and stuff like that. But that'd be the case. So.
Yeah.
Thanks
for
rocking with us.
Honorable mention.
Oh no, go ahead, bro.
I wanna use this word that I use a lot. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Travis.
Come on,
I
piggyback.
don't know why y'all don't say other words, but go ahead.
I don't say other words. So I'm gonna piggyback off of I'm an honorable mention 2 from one anime. Pain arc, Shippuden, amazing. War arc, Shippuden, amazing.
Got you. Oh no, 100%.
End the podcast.
We can end the podcast.
I just want to say those 2, and I want to see y'all complain about the war arc in the comments.
You hear that? That's Ed and Edwin is back up to his no good tricks, y'all. See that?
No good tricks.
He's back to acting up. So
cue that Sonic song.
Anyway, so but yes, no, please, I do want to hear your comments on the war arc and Shippuden. And honestly, I was waiting for him to say something about Naruto, because if you didn't already know, Ed and Edwin is the Naruto man.
That's why I don't talk about it.
And that's why we actually kind of did it on purpose. We try not to talk about anime that's too mainstream all the time when we get into conversations, because we know there's a lot of things that people might know about. And we do want to bring up stuff that you do know and can talk about us with, but we don't bring up something that you may not have heard sometimes. So we try to bring a mix to you. So we probably have
some variety out there.
Yeah, some variety to your anime watching and your anime knowledge. So we probably missed out some things that are very apparent that maybe we didn't even say in our honorable mentions, but you guys tell us in the comments below. So this here is going to be the end of this one. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we are having a conversation and a meeting of the pillars. Thank you for joining us for this meeting
guys.
of the pillars. And as Nobunaga often says, if you have any topics you want us guys to talk about, then we will get to it. I know on stream somebody Controls, shout out to you, Controls. He was literally saying that we should talk about who we feel are like favorite useless characters in anime. That's also one that he brought up, and I was like, I'll bring it to the guys. So but please do that stuff. So just remember, as always, you saw the fist go up because you know I'm going to say it. Black lives will always matter. Black History Month is something that we will be celebrating all month long. You're damn right.
You're damn right.
Stay safe during the corona times. And as always, please remember, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.